Hello everyone and welcome to what seems to be a very, very gloomy Silverstone Circuit for what is going to be the final Grand Prix of 2018 for the Virtual Racing Championship. It's the British Grand Prix. I'm your commentator for this evening, Oliver Glazebrook, and I welcome you all here for what promised to be another action-packed Grand Prix. Last week, of course, we had a great race at Austria, which just flew by, 36 laps in total, and the laps were just coming thick and fast, which ended in a classic win and a historic win for Diego Killer, keeping his lead at the top of the championship at a very sizable distance. Second place in the championship now is actually Dom. He's overtaken Veloce Oli D, who's had a couple of mistakes and a few issues. He needs to try and fight his way back up there. By Dom, of course, we do mean Freak. At their NTG 2011 Freak is Dom, kind of chop and change as to which one we're calling, but normally it's Freak / Dom, which we refer to him as here, as his gamer tag can often change. So the championship leader isn't out on track, but a few other guys here who are for their home Grand Prix, one of which, Shari Tupai, out on track at the moment. VSR Blizzard as well, who's just coming through the old start finish straight. One of the nicest section of corners heading into Cops there. A little bit wide, but that's a beautiful set of corners. We'll probably ride on board with him for quite a significant amount of this lap, and we'll go through a lap of this circuit that many of you who are watching have probably been to in real life, maybe have got a bit of first-hand experience around the track. I've walked some of these corners before. It's for me personally, an absolute classic, and it's a bit gloomy and grey out there. I'm surprised not more guys are out on track, which makes me think there's probably not a chance of rain at some point. But we'll do our very best at this moment. As no, it looks like Blizzard's come into the pits very early. He was on the soft compound tyres there. So who's the other guy? It looked like a Force India. See if we can see which one. Yep, it will be Onyx, who's going to be the first guy to come across the line and start a lap here at Silverstone, coming down the international pit straight now. A beautiful first corner, not great for overtaking, but it's high speed with DRS available for these guys. That's going to be a true test of their ability. Heading into the first sector, the tightest section of this track as well, down into these lovely set of corners. We just lost the rear end slightly there, and he's a little bit all over the place. Not the greatest of first sectors. Everyone else out on track at the moment, apart from Matt Meerkat. So a little bit surprising. But he's now coming out on track, so everyone's out. Blizzard, of course, in the pits after he decided to come in nice and early. So we will ride on board with someone very shortly. In fact, we'll probably ride on board with the championship leader of Diego Killer as he's coming around these final set of corners into Maggots and Beckett's. He goes. It's one of the nicest set of corners, Maggots and Beckett's, you'll ever witness. If you're there live and you sit in front of it, I've had the privilege to sit at Maggots and Beckett's before, and it is an absolute joy to behold. It's a beautiful, beautiful track and a beautiful section of corners as well. Yeah, we will ride on board now then with Diego Killer. He's coming through the final corners. You'll see some times popping up in the top left hand of your screen shortly. He's ramping up. We'll go on board as Marquise has come and left the session there, so hopefully he can rejoin and get going again. Through the final corner he goes, and Diego Killer is now heading down into turn 1, down the international pit straight into Abbey of turn 1. High speed right-hander, then going to shift it to the left-hand side of Farm into turn 3, into what is formerly known, or currently known, sorry, as the arena section. Turn 4 is a long left-hander. It's going to be a tight one to get nicely done, but it's a perfect opportunity to open up the corner as you head down the back straight here into Brooklands, Lovefield and Woodcott. Here comes Brooklands first and foremost. There's left-hander where Vettel got a great manoeuvre done on Valtteri Bottas earlier on in the year in front of a pretty disappointed Silverstone crowd. But heading up there nicely, clipping that right-hand side as you're heading down the old start-finish straight into one of the most iconic corners in Formula 1. It's going to be Copse Corner, high speed right-hander, full throttle, the minorest of lift-offs potentially just there. If you look on the wheel, you can see a slight lift-off in revs, but he's straight back on the power up into 8th gear as he's going to head down into 11, 12, 13. It's Maggots and Beckett's. Here we are, left and right, beautifully done. Just want to clip that right-hand side of the curving. Little bit of an oversteer moment there, but he's held it nicely. A good correction on the wheel. High use of the ERS. Heading down the back straight of the hangar straight, now down into Stowe, a long right-hander, a great overtaking opportunity, plenty of momentum to be taken as you come through the final few corners into Vale, a lovely corner as well, another great place to sit. I've sat there before as well, and you're coming through these final corners as it's a long right-hander. If you get it off camber, you can lose the rear end slightly, but Diego Killer, they're a pretty good lap there. He moves himself up into P3, 1 minute 26.3. He's up in third place with the H-Eagle in second, and Epic Gamer leading the way in first as the man who's overtaking there, Cherry Tupai, is currently in P4. Quite a few guys yet to set laps here. But nevertheless, Ollie D there is blitzing there. He's absolutely smashing at the moment, getting past. So maybe, just maybe, he's, let's see what he's, oh yeah, Ollie D is definitely coming into the pits. Anyone else out on track? Blizzard is now going down into Copse Corner now. This is going to be a high speed option for him. He's up into 8th gear. Different to what Deagle Killer had. He was in 7th. But Blizzard has gone and opted for 8th gear at the moment, which is a bit surprising. You would have thought. And he's just shifting down now, of course, through Maggots and Beckett's in turns 10, 11, 12 and 13. A long section of corners. Sector 1 yellow flags that will be backing up of the pack as Blizzard looks to be set to set his first lap of the Grand Prix. Dom yet to set a time, so the man who's second in the championship and challenging Deagle Killer has had 2 laps on their mediums and is yet to complete a full lap of this qualifying session with just under 12 minutes to go. Blizzard is coming through the final few corners. Let's see what he can do. A little bit of a ride on that curving. That's going to compromise his entrance into the corner. He can still improve up into second, and I think he may have lost a little bit of time in that final corner, Blizzard. So he decided to go in 8th gear through Copse. That's actually giving him a bit more of a boost going through there. So Deagle Killer maybe, just maybe, could learn a thing or two there from Blizzard, who has now moved up into P2, pushing Deagle into P4 on the grid at the moment, but a long way to go. In fact, 11 minutes is such a sizable amount of time to go that you'd imagine that it won't stay like this for very long. Mark, who had a pretty good debut starting on pole position in Austria, he's having a little bit of a change of fortune this time around. He's down in 10th at the moment, but you'd imagine he can gain some time. 1.1 seconds off the top time at the moment, which is from Epic Gamer, who's 3/10 quicker than Blizzard. As things currently stand, the H-Eagles on an outlap. A few other guys are out on track. Matt Meerkat, who we can see is returning to VRC, is going to be coming into the pit shortly. Can we catch anyone who's on a lap at the moment? I'm not too sure. It looks like most guys on outlaps at the moment. Who's going to be the first guy on an outlap to set a time? It could be Pit Matt. Actually, no, I'm not too sure. Look, Cherry Tupai. I think the H-Eagle maybe. Too sure. Let's have a quick look, see if we can find. As Dom has time, he's moved up into P6. He's on very worn old set of medium compound tyres. A bit surprising that he's decided to set a lap on them tyres. Yellow flags in sector 1. Who's that? It looked like the Renault was a little bit wavy, so maybe it was him just losing the rear end slightly. He's let Epic Gamer through, who looks to be flying at the moment on an outlap. The H-Eagle, anyone else there out on track who's about to set a lap? I think Mark is going to be the first man as he's coming through these final set of corners, so we'll keep an eye on him. While we do so, let's have a quick run through of the current grid. It is Epic Gamer, who is currently in provisional pole position, 1 minute 25.7, followed by Blizzard, who's in second. The H-Eagle is in third. Deagle Killer is in fourth. Cherry Tupai follows up into the top 5. He's in 5th. Dom/Freak is in 6th. 7th is Tim Palm. Expert in 9th is Onyx. 10th is Matt Meerkat. Ollie D is 11th. Big improvements needed from him. 12th is Mark NUFC, and then Dan Daniel, Marquise, and Hitmat have all yet to set times. Tim Palm has moved. Not Tim Palm. Somebody's moved up there. I saw a little green on the left-hand side. I'm not too sure who it was, but a little tidy lap here so far from Mark. We'll ride on board with him as he's heading down into Copse, and going to be a pretty good lap time. I think it looks to be an improvement. Does he shift up into 8th gear? He does shift up into 8th gear, so maybe that tells you that Deagle Killer has got his car set up more for the cornering sections. But you notice how Mark had to lift down into 7th there because of the amount of speed that he was carrying, so maybe, just maybe, that's not the greatest line there from him. So it is about finding that balance of these drivers, who can get the best setup, which is vitally crucial around here. Sector 2 yellow flags will be the bunching up of the pack as they're all backing off. You can see all trying to let each other have a bit of space. Let's see how Mark takes beautifully through there, and just, it's just a little bit too wide on the AstroTurf. Maybe, just maybe, that's going to cost him an invalidated lap as he exits out of Stowe through Vale now into the final set of corners. Let's see what he can do. Out across the line he goes into pole position. It looked scruffy. It didn't look like it was the most comfortable lap, especially heading down the hanger straight, but he's done a good enough job, I'd say. He's up in the pole position, just at 0.05 of a second ahead of Epic Gamer. But Mark last week got pole position but didn't have the ability to maximise his efforts and take the race victory. But hopefully for his sake he can win it here in front of his home Grand Prix. Only his second virtual racing championship round. He could well be on for back-to-back pole positions, and still he he's yet to score a single point, which is a bit of an achievement in itself. So hopefully for his sake he can improve. But that's a real good improvement from him from the back of the grid, leaving Marquis, Dan Daniel and Pitmat all left wondering. Pitmat especially, who's set an invalidated lap there. That's why he's completed one whole lap. I think he might be ramping up for another one with 7.5 minutes to go. For his sake, you'd imagine he'd want to be improving a little bit. Here comes Marquis across the line. It's going to be a lap time. No, he's just starting a lap now. Dan Daniel's heading down into Cop's corner there. Onyx as well is going to be following him quite tightly. Dom's out on an out lap onto a set of the soft compound tyres. The best times at the moment, only Dom and Expert have set times on mediums at the moment. Tim Palmer and Cops there. See if anyone is coming to the end of a lap at the moment. The H-Eagle there, no. Blizzard maybe? No as well. So nobody's really coming to the end of the lap. I'm going to head down on board with... who was it who was just about to complete a lap? I think it might have been Onyx. It was Onyx. I believe probably Red Bulls. Is it Tim Palmer? No. The Deagle Killer. But that one is going to come through the final set of corners. Able to do, can he improve? It was Deagle who got himself up in 5th, and across the line Onyx goes, cannot improve. He's just not improved enough on his time. Tim Palm has moved up into 5. Apologies, Dan Daniel lap, meaning that Pitman and Marquis are now the only guys who are riding on board with Marquis. The hanger straight. Let's see what he can do now. Lovely line through this set of corners. His VRC compatriot and teammate P4 after a pretty good start in qualifying as Deagle gets himself up into P. Looking to have a bit of pace between them. Can he move decent play at the moment? Is a good time from Marquis. He's ahead of Cherry 2 and Ollie D and Dom, in fact, but Dom yet to set time on the soft compound tyre. Dom just coming through this section has gone up into pole position. Is through straight as well. Some people wish it was still on the calendar. I've got to say, there's a part of me that does wish a little bit that all these cars would head down high speed into Cops into turn 1 just to see what would happen with these modern Formula 1 cars. It's a shame we're not going to be seeing that with the new current layout. Blizzard, though, has got himself back up into the top spot, but it could be short-lived as Epic Gamer is back out onto the track. All three of the guys who are winning at the moment, all British residents, and we'll be hoping for their sake that they can get a nice victory in their home Grand Prix. Yellow flags in the final sector. You can see there, it's the car on the right hand side. It was the H-Eagle moving out of the way for what looked to be a Mercedes ahead of him. It could well have anyone, though. I didn't get the clearest look. I'm not too sure. I can't focus sadly on who that is, but it's a silver car, and nonetheless through the final corner Bob can improve only to P5, so not ahead of the start to cut that deficit down if he wants to be crowned the first ever virtual racing champion. Virtual racing champion. You know, nobody ever remembers the runners up in these situations, but P5 for Dom at the moment. He's slotted himself in nicely. He can probably get into the pits and set one more time. This is now, guys. The guys are on their final laps. Will be contemplating how they can improve, what they can do with just under 4.5 minutes to go. Who will get pole position here at Silverstone as Epic Gamer has just started probably his final lap of this session. Looks to be a good time at the moment there from the Haas of Epic Gamer. He's flying through this section of corners, but can he do enough to get himself onto the top spot here? It's going to be a tough one, and I'd be surprised if he can really, if he can't, of course. Look at the gap between these guys. We'll quickly take a look at the deficit. Look how tight it is at the top between the top three, all separated by 7/100ths of a second at the moment. In fact, the entire grid is almost separated by just around a second. It's Matt Mierka and Onyx who are letting the side down in that regard at the moment. We'll get back onto the fastest laps because we could well be seeing a fastest lap here from Epic Gamer through the final set of corners. Here he comes now. Can he get the perfect acceleration into the final curving? He can do, across the line, and Epic Gamer moves up into the top spot spot there. A 1 minute 25.534. That is the new fastest time here with just under 3 minutes to go. Epic Gamer leads the way, but keep an eye on Blizzard, Mark, Deagle, anyone really can take the top spot. You'd never write out Dom in these situations. The man who's been on an absolute charge recently, the H-Eagle, is on an outlap. So too is Tim Palm and Ollie D, currently really struggling down in P11. You'd imagine he'd want to get some redemption and get himself up into get himself out of 11th place, unless of course he's strategically hoping to start 11th so he can get the perfect tyre choice. Maybe, I don't know, maybe tyre wear is a big factor. I'm hearing it's a pretty simple soft to medium here from the drivers. I'd be surprised if anyone goes on the hards, but the hards will be there in case you do need them. Dan Daniel's going to be one of the last guys out of the pits, but behind him is, I believe, Williams, and I think it's Blizzard. There's quite a few cars. You can see Mark and a Force India there of Dom as well coming out of the pits with just 2 minutes to go. They'll have 30 seconds to spare here today. Epic Gamer has called it. That's the best he can get out of the car. He's left it a little bit early, meaning all the pressure will be on the guys to chase his time down. He'll be feeling a little bit nervous and a bit anxious, but he'll probably be within the top 3, I'd imagine, with a time like that. A very competitive time to 1 minute 25.534 from him. So it looks like Dom/Freak is going to be the last man across the line, and one of the first men that come across the line is going to be the H-Eagle. Here he comes now through coming into turn 1 now. Let's see what he's able to do. Beautifully done as he heads into turn 2 of Farm at the moment, taking it nicely. He wants to just about clip that right hand side, open the corner as much as possible on the furthest side to the right hand side. Lovely line through there. Sometimes avoiding the apex gives you a bit more speed, and taking the optimum line isn't necessarily the smartest line in that regard. You want to open the corner up and get as much power as possible as you head down the straight into one of the nicest sections of corners that you're going to find in Formula 1, down into Brooklands and Lovefield. Everyone loves Brooklands and Lovefield, and I don't think you'll ever meet somebody who says otherwise. He's going to head down the old start-finish straight into turn 9, more well known of course as Cops. Now here comes the H-Eagle. What's he able to do? Expert has obviously been unable to set another time, meaning that he is out of this session in P7, but I can imagine it's not going to be his finishing place. Onyx is retired. He got himself up into P8. You've got every single person's out on track at the moment trying their absolute best to see what they're able to do. We're on board with the H-Eagle, but this could quite quickly be a case of shifting as quickly as possible onto anyone we can find to find somebody who's about to set a time. It looks like behind him is a Red Bull. Let's check. I think it's Tim Palmer. It is, so we can quickly Tim Palm straight away after this. Here comes the H-Eagle. 10 seconds left on the clock. If he gets across the line, he might be able to set one more time. Here he comes, and across the line comes the H-Eagle. Where's he going to move up to? He only moves up into P6 as Ollie D is retired from the session. Tim Palm comes across the line. He's up into P8. That's his session over. Mark is retired from P3. All eyes are going to be on Blizzard. He's come through Cops. Deagle Killer as well. Dom, they're all coming through the similar sort of section. Are Deagle and Dom at the moment. The H-Eagle can set another time. Pit Matt gets 11th place. Marquesi's still going. Cherry 2 Pie as well. Dan Daniel and Matt Meerkat's coming through the final few corners. Coming through back down the Harring straight into Stowe. Sorry. Here comes Matt Meerkat. We'll ride on board with him. He's come into the pits now. We've got to quickly move as quickly as possible to the Haas of Dan Daniel, who's coming through the final corner. Marquesi's has retired from the session. Here comes Dan Daniel. He moves up into P8. All eyes onto Blizzard now. He comes across the line. Can he move on the pole? No, he cannot. He sticks himself in P2, and that's all he's able to do. We'll go on board now with Deagle Killer, who's coming through the final few corners now. What can the Dutchman do? He comes across the line. Can he improve? No, he cannot. Can Dom take pole position? No, he can't either. Which means Cherry 2 Pie is the only man who can improve, and he moves ahead of Pitmap up into P12 there, shunting the Ferrari driver down team. But that is it. That is qualifying. An Epic Gamer who set a lap time earlier on and retired nice and early, knowing that's all he could do. He gets pole here from Blizzard. Mark's in third. It's the Eagle Killer in fourth, ahead of Dom. Them two are in a championship scrap like no other. But Ollie D, who's involved in it as well, is very, very close. If somebody has just lost their front wheel, Cherry 2 Pie there. But that is your qualifying classification. Maybe, just maybe though, if you're one of the guys outside the top 10 in the 11th place, maybe you could get that Deagle Killer style nice overcut maybe just push a little bit, and could be an interesting one nonetheless. We'll try and keep a close eye on what these guys are able to do and what tyres they'll all be starting on. But that is your grid here for the British Grand Prix. The final qualifying session of 2018 sees Epic Gamer take the top spot ahead of his fellow compatriot Blizzard, making it an all-British front row. In third place is another Brit in Mark, doing the Toonami very proud. The Eagle Killer is in fourth. The Austrian of Dom is in fifth. The H-Eagle 6th, Ollie D is in 7th, Dan Daniel and Timpar make it a VP 8 and 9. X-Ray is in 10th, Onyx is in 11th, Cherry 2 Pie and Pitmat line up together for the British contingent as well in 13th. So a pretty good qualifying there from these guys. We're expecting a dry race, not hearing any other weather conditions from the guys. So look at this beautiful bright blue skies at the moment above the Northamptonshire. Sorry, I mean it's kind of border, isn't it? We'll say it's Northamptonshire. The Northamptonshire skies are looking particularly beautiful here today. The reason why I question that is, of course, because the Silverstone Circuit is kind of on the border of different counties. Half the track is technically in Northamptonshire, where you can actually get, say, for example, if you do travel for the Grand Prix, you can park your cars. For example, one's in Northamptonshire and one's in I can't remember the other county it is in. I'll see if I can figure it out for you in a second. I'm really trying to think what it is, but the 5 green lights are live for the formation lap. We'll quickly get the tyre choice up for you to see who is on what tyres at the moment. We'll have the gap to the leader and we'll have the tyre choice. So Cherry 2 Pie and Pitmat have both decided to go onto the medium compound tyres, but other than that, everyone else is on the soft compound tyres. It was Buckinghamshire, so it's between Buckinghamshire and Northamptonshire. It borders along the two. That just shows the size of the track. It's not just a track, of course, it is the overall area. It's such a large and vast section of greenery. Fields just cover the entire area. But Epic Gamer is in the house and he's leading away on the top. Blizzard in that Williams makes it a all British front. So who is your money on? Please down below if you're watching, please comment, give us your predictions. Who's gonna smash it? Maybe pile fans down there who think they could get their cars who are starting on the medium compound tyres in a bit more of a illustrious place. Marquise is in P14, Matt Meerkat is in 15th for the moment. They'll be hoping their very best that they can maybe force their way past them too nice and early, because getting stuck behind guys around here can be a bit of a disaster. You'd be hoping that you can have a nice clean and calm Grand Prix, but nonetheless we'll be hoping for some great action between the lot of these guys at the moment. You can see the guys will get in their tyres nice and warm. We'll have a quick look down the grid on Eagle Killer, the man who's leading the championship at the moment. Plays it before, he knows he can do better than that, and especially with the men behind him in the H-Eagle, the H-Eagle, Dom/Freak and Ollie D, all very, very quick guys who he'll be hoping won't be too much of an issue there, as he's almost running there, who is ghosted, luckily for him, between the two of them. But for the final time in 2018, it's going to be one hell of a Grand Prix. It's the British Grand Prix. It's at the Silverstone Circuit. It's live, and we are just a few moments away from what promises to be a classic Grand Prix. If all else fails, there's going to be some great action here today. On your right hand side of your screen is the house of Epic Games. To your left, it's 5 red lights racing the Silverstone Circuit. It's a decent start there from the Williams. It's a very good start from him. Can he challenge? But it looks like Epic Games just about got it, as they're all heading into turn 1 now. Beautifully done now. Turn farm section, a little bit of contact between the Williams and the Haas there. As Ice is retired, he's crashed out of this session very, very early. Side by side go the Williams and the Haas. Looks like Blizzard is going to have to concede that place, but he's not giving it up too easily. Epic Gamers coming at him now, on board with Mark, getting a great viewing of these two now as they're going to head down into Brooklands. Who's going to get them a side goes the Williams. Can he get the jump? Yes, he can. He's got the move done on the Haas driver there. He's moved himself nicely up position, and he's now up into the lead. But Blizzard is going to have to defend from Epic Gamer, who's come right back at him, and he's actually got
past him, it seems. He has done. It's going to be 5 abreast potentially down into Cop's corner. They're going to go 3 wide. All 5 cars so tight. And how on earth have they not picked up damage there? Mark is going to try and take an opportunity here and get past it. He has done. Mark leads this Grand Prix. Epic him having to defend against Mark. But beautifully done there from Mark. He moves up into this 3. But for how much longer? Diego moves up into 3rd. As it looks like Blizzard was involved in some contact there, so there was contact which has forced Blizzard all the way down into P14. D is involved in the start, which has put him down into 13th place behind Pitmat and Cherry 2 Pie. Matt Meerkat is going side by side with Cherry 2 Pie, and he's got the manoeuvre done on them fresh soft compound tyres, almost going into the rear end there of Marquise, but a great manoeuvre nonetheless there from him to get past. A chaotic first lap means Mark leads his from Epic Gamer. This could be a good little battle. Diego has been able to stay ahead of Dom, but Dom is definitely charging him down, and you can see some blood in his visor, and you always know with Dom that he's going to put 110%. The fellow teammate of Deagle Killer in Tim Palm is in place now. The H-Eagle up into 6th position. Marquise though has gained 6th place on that start. A great start from one Williams, a terrible start from the other. The only man who's gained more positions off the start was Matt Meerkat, who's got himself into a points-paying position at the moment. But we've got a good little midfield scrap between this lot at the moment, all keeping it nice and tight. And, you know, once the DRS is available, we could see some overtakes. H-Eagle is starting to struggle. Ollie D has passed Pitmat. No surprises there. The softs compared to the mediums, also a bit of a between Ollie D and Pitmat, but nonetheless Pitmat is going to try and come back at him further up the field. You can see Cherry 2 Pie isn't giving Matt Meerkat any breathing space at the moment. He's trying to hunt him down as they come through Magus and Beckett's. Exit is all over the rear end of that Williams, and that is a fantastic little switcheroo. Can he get the place done? He's been pushed off the track there, and Marquise though has now dropped him down behind his teammate and Cherry 2 Pie, and here comes Ollie D as well. So Expert has had a pretty disastrous section of corners through Magus and Beckett's there. I dare say there'll be a few complaints. What a manoeuvre there from Ollie D though to get some great traction into the coming into Stowe, as they're going to go 3 wide heading into Farm, and this is a great little scrap. Cherry 2 Pie's come out on top. Here comes Expert still coming at them, and he's had to concede that place, and Matt Pitmat has got past him there. DRS is now available, and this lovely little backfield scrap is only for the last inklings of points. But Cherry 2 Pie has got past Marquise, but Marquise, you believe, can probably still get involved in this and really get past him nice and quickly. But a great little scrap between them, and this is a good little backfield battle. Pitmat's giving Expert everything he's got, but it looks like Expert's going to get back past him there, and Pitmat maybe having to give the position up, maybe go for a little switch back up the inside. Is he going to brake later? He's able to. Break later at that point, and Expert is moved back up into P12, but this little midfield battle is starting to heat up very nicely from Matt Meerkat backwards, who's starting to be clawed in a little bit by Cherry 2 Pie, and the absence of DRS for him could become a bit fatal when they go down the hangar straight, especially heading into Stowe. Cherry 2 Pie picking up a time penalty. Epic Gamer is all over the rear end of Mark. He's just under half a second behind him though as well is Deagle Killer. Dom and Himpalm have also got very similar gaps, so these guys are all starting to pick up a bit of a formation. Here comes Epic Gamer heading down the hangar straight round the outside of Stowe. Can he get it done? Mark's taking the inside line. Epic Gamer have been forced off onto the AstroTurf. Can he get it done though into Farm? Let's see what he can do. Late break in there from Mark. He's going to have to clip him round, and he's up the inside, and Mark has held onto his place, but Epic Gamer is not giving up. He's gone side by side. He's got the manoeuvre. He's got the position, and that is a fantastic move done there by Epic Gamer, but this is not completed by any stretch of the imagination. Look how close these guys are. Out on track, under 0.2 of a second separate the top 3. Under a second is separating the entire top 5 at the moment. Look how tight they all are as they're all coming through the first few sections. This is great action-packed racing. Epic Gamer holds on to the place there. Mark subcedes into second, but Deagle Killer is getting Larry behind as well. He's got a great bit of slipstream on Epic Gamer, who's cut him off there as he heads to the right-hand side, but Deagle Killer has got the place done on Mark, and Mark has gone from first down to third in just a matter of laps there. That is a great little scrap between the leaders, and Silverstone is really delivering at the moment for Dom. He'll be looking at this battle and feeling he can get involved very shortly, as Ollie D has got past Cherry 2 Pie further down into P9, but we're going to keep ourselves firmly locked onto this great battle. Mark has gone wide there as he tries to get past Deagle Killer, and he's been caught in the dirty air a little bit there, but a great little scrap between this lot. Deagle Killer is now going to try and hunt down Epic Gamer for the race victory. Yellow flags in sector 2. Who's that? Is that Ollie D? Ollie D's lost it. He's lost it coming through Cop's corner, so Ollie D for the second time, has dropped places after making a mistake, and he is down into P14, and that's going to muddy up his tyres a little bit. Not ideal there from the Veloce driver. Pit has got a great run on Marquez. Can he hang out on the outside? Medium tyres versus soft compound tyres. He's done a great little bit of driving to defend, but Marquez cannot defend too long, but he's going to try and get on the attack in here, and Pitmat has to succeed there, and that's P11 for Marquez, but Pitmat is still coming at him, so a great little battle between these two. Maybe the medium tyres are coming into their own. Sector 1, yellow flags. Mark is crashed out. Mark is out of this Grand Prix, so for the second week running, Mark has been involved in an incident. I'm not too sure what happened there. He's looking on board with a battle between Marquez and Pitmat, and Mark has crashed out of this Grand Prix. Disastrous for him. Another great qualifying session and a potential opportunity to win this Grand Prix has now meant that he has dropped out of this race and he's retired once again. A not great race from him. Side by side go Epic Gamer, Deagle Killer. Deagle Killer, the championship leader, is giving Epic Gamer a run for his money. Side through Lovefield, he does so, but they're going to continue to go side by side, down, start finish straight, heading into Cop. You can see how these hugging the floor. These car setups, a great line. Both of them keeping it nice and clean at the moment. Side by side racing is what we love to see here in the VRC. They're going to keep going side by side. No great camera angles from the broadcast point of view, but we're going to keep on board now with these two, as this is allowing the teammate of Deagle Killer, Tim Palm, to get involved in this battle, and we're still a race, a battle for the lead here between all these guys. Dom has also dropped behind H Eagle, so it looks like a mistake from him. Deagle Killer has got past Epic Gamer there, moving himself up into the lead of this Grand Prix, but Epic Gamer is probably going to be coming at him thick and fast, and this battle is far from over. The H Eagle got ahead of the Dom/Freight, but I'm not too sure how long that one's going to last, because Dom has got some serious pace, but we haven't really seen it in the last two races from Dom. Maybe he just needs to up his game if he wants to challenge for that title. The man who's leading the championship and this Grand Prix currently has a very comfortable lead and could well be on his way in the first ever virtual racing champion here on the PS4 platform. A great little race from these guys so far. We can take a breath and take the order at the moment. It is Deagle Killer from Epic Gamer, who's then followed by Tim Palm. You can see very there. Then you've got the H Eagle in the Sauber from Dom in the Force India. 5th, Dan Daniels keeping them tight in the other Haas at the moment. X-Brits in 7th, he's got Cherry 2 Pie. Aircat keeping him very much alive at the moment, and keeping these guys nice and keen, making sure they don't give too much away. X-Brit, he's in 7th. Cherry 2 Pie, who's hunting him down. You see them emerging out of that right-hander at the moment. You can see in the background, you can see the Toro Rosso, Cherry 2 Pie, X-Brit, Pitmat and Blizzard making up 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. Marquise and Ollie D round it out with 12th and 13th place, but these guys are all very tight at the moment, keeping this battle very much alive. Ollie D could be on the rear end of this as well very shortly. Cherry 2 Pie getting on the grassing there, but he's got a fantastic line out the corner, and X-Brit I think is going to have to defend against this valiantly, but there's no chance he's going to get it if Cherry 2 Pie gets enough momentum up the inside. He goes on them medium tyres, and maybe the white wall mediums are coming into their own. Cherry 2 Pie flying his way up P7, but the Renault is coming back at him. Will/X-Brit is doing a great job at the moment, but he cannot seemingly get past Cherry 2 Pie that time. But with no DRS available for Cherry 2 Pie, in fact a big sizable 4.4 second gap, can X-Brit get back at him? DRS available to him as they head into turn 1 of Abbey, heading round this long left-hander into Farm. Beautifully done into the arena section. Cherry 2 Pie locking up all four wheels there. You can see a little bit of snap of understeer coming out of the rear wheels. Really starting to struggle on them tyres. Maybe a lack of temperature in the tyres at the moment, but he's showing some good consistency and looks to pull away a little bit there from X-Brit. So maybe, just maybe, he's held onto the place. But with DRS, you never know what's going to happen. Dan Daniel is all over the rear end of the H Eagle at the moment. They're all keeping themselves very, very close, and they're all getting involved in some good little battles. But Dom is really struggling. Maybe some damage to his front wing. Here comes Dan Daniel. He breezes past him, and Dom doesn't even defend against him. He lets him pass because he knows he's not got the pace at the moment. And Dan Daniel now has a fresh hunt if he wants to go on to catch the H Eagle. But the front three are all very close once again. Just 1 second separating them as Epic Gamer gets onto the dirt. He's going to try and hunt down Deagle Killer here. The back for this race lead. He got pole position. Can he get the lead of the Grand Prix heading into Stowe? Can he get enough momentum? Maybe heading into Vale. I'll be a little bit surprised if he can get it done into Vale. Let's see what he can do. Brakes on the later on the brakes there. Can he get it done? No, he cannot. As expected, Deagle Killer is holding on to this place, but this great little battle for the midfield is once again heating up. It is Deagle Killer from Epic Gamer and Tim Palm at this moment in time. That is your front three and your top three of this Grand Prix. First lot of pit stops to come in. The H Eagle and Marquis have decided to come into the pit lane. Ollie D will be promoted up into P11 there now. To a set of the medium compound tyres, so instead of positions we're going to get our tyre looking and see what everyone goes on. Marquis also onto the medium compound tyres, so 8 laps long they lasted. Them soft compound tyres, they're not great on tyre wear around here at Silverstone. Of course, the infamous incident with the Pirellis in 2013 for for Lewis Hamilton was a bit of an iconic Silverstone. Also seen issues with the Ferrari last season of Vettel and Raikkonen, both struggled because of their tyres. That's the tyre wear around here is a big factor, but both guys who have pitted have both come onto the medium compound tyres, maybe giving us when the time is. Blizzard, who was so quick earlier on before having that incident that cost him big place and some big points, is now all over the rear end of Matt Meerkat. He's in the points, but he probably can sniff a few extra points and a few extra places in this Grand Prix. Matt Meerkat struggled out of the exit of Beckett's, and that is even easiest overtakes he's going to have this afternoon here at Silverstone. His next target is Pitman, who's in P8, and then maybe can hunt down Expert and Cherry 2 Pie. Expert of who has decided to pits along with Dom and Tim Palm at the moment. Tim Palm allowed to come into the pits purely because his teammate has decided not to come into the pits at this stage. He's staying out for a little bit longer. We saw how good he is on his tyres at Austria last week. Let's see what he's here at Silverstone, where it's a much different kettle of fish when you come to that sort of situation. Tyre wear around here compared to Austria is a very different ball game, considering as well the tyre choice as well. I think, if I'm honest with you, I think next season they should all just be on the hyper soft, ultra soft and super soft, just to keep it nice and interesting. You know, more pit stops equals more action. That's what we all want to see. We all want a bit of fire in our Formula 1, you could say. As I'm going to take a quick water break, we'll be back in just a few seconds. You'd imagine Deagle Killer will not be staying out for too much longer. He's got 1.3 second gap to Epic Gamer. You'd think he'd come into the pits, otherwise he could be susceptible to the undercut of his teammate, especially, who has got an 11 second gap between him and Ollie D, meaning he's got some fresh air at the moment. He's coming to the pits. He's followed quickly by Epic Gamer. Matt Meerkat has retired from this session. Let's see if we can see on board with anyone where he's gone off. I'm not too sure if we can see it. We're on board with the H Eagle. Is he going to be able to see? Maybe Tim Palm can see where he's gone off. Looks like he's gone off on the right hand side there, so he's lost the rear end on the exit of Beckett's, and Matt Meerkat's race is over before it really started. Cherry 2 Pie moves up into P2. Matt as well, who started on their medium compound. Let's see where the Eagle Killer's going to come out. Tim Palm's coming through the final few corners down at Vale. I'd be surprised if he gets the jump, but he's got a good line through here. If he can take maximum speed, it could be very tight between the two of them. We'll keep an eye on the broadcast camera. On your right hand side of your screen, you're going to be seeing maybe a Red Bull coming through. There you see a glimmer of him, but Epic Gamer could well be under threat. No, he is not. Oh no, he is. Sorry, Epic Gamer has been put under threat, and he's dropped a place there from Tim Palm. So Epic Gamer has not gained a place there on he's lost a place there on Tim Palm, but he was able to hold on to him there. So Tim they get the original 1-2 at the moment. Is up into P2, which could be a net lead when Dan Daniel comes into the pits. Pitmat and Blizzard are starting a battle, but Blizzard's tyres are probably coming to the end of their lifespan as well. So for Pitmat and Cherry 2 Pie, they'll be in a net lead of this Grand Prix, going for the longer strategies. How long they're going to stay there, I'd be surprised. The undercut could be quite powerful around here, but they could be incredibly quick, them two, when they get to go on them soft compound tyres later in this Grand Prix. We know they're lasting around about 8 or 9 laps of soft compound tyres at their peak pace, of course. You know, Dan Daniel and Blizzard are out there at the moment, but they are not going to be having the best time on their time as Blizzard's probably going to peel into the pits. He has done so too has Dan Daniel. They couldn't get their tyres lasting much longer, the two of them. So Cherry 2 Pie leads this Grand Prix from Pitmat, but the important news though is that Deagle Killer is ahead of his teammate, but for how much longer, we wonder, as here they come through these final few corners, heading into Vale, and they're going to be coming through Club Corner very shortly down the new start finish. Just a few minutes ago it opened up. Classic, in my opinion. A great race circuit. Heading down into turn 1. Let's see what they're able to do. Into Abbey. Tim Palm is keeping his teammate free at the moment, but it's enough, you'd say, for a lunge up the inside at this stage is done. has set the fastest lap of this Grand Prix. Maybe coming into this race a little bit later on. He's on the medium compound side. Expert ahead of him, 1.4 seconds up the road he is, but it looks like Eagle Killer's going to be able to hold Tim Palm at this rate, and it's a full 1-2 at the moment. They want to keep it this way, break some British hearts here in the grandstands. They'll be pretty pleased to be seeing some good battling this lot at the moment, and it's been a real good race so far. Really good showing, lap 11 of 26. Eagle Killer is in a net lead this Grand Prix. He's got 17 seconds. Cherry 2-Pie, which is not going to be enough for Cherry 2-Pie to come out in the lead of this Grand Prix. In fact, he's probably going to be coming out around about where Damn Daniel and Expert are at the moment. But if they get a big enough undercut, he could well be finding himself behind the likes of Freak and Blizzard as well. If the pace, Cherry 2-Pie picking up a 3-second time penalty as well, it's not going to help his cause. Nonetheless, Eagle Killer, you have to defend against Tim Palm, maybe down into the hangar straight. The gap's coming down. Can he get close enough? Not this time, but if he keeps on showing these good bit of pace, he needs to maybe do a little bit better in sector 1 and 2, get onto the rear end Eagle Killer, get good enough run, then just maybe he could get past his teammate and maybe get out of the championship leader's shadow a little bit. It'd be a very big task nonetheless. It'd be a big task for any driver to get out of the shadow of the Eagle Killer, let alone when he's your teammate. That adds a little bit of an extra pizzazz to proceedings, you could say, here in the VRC this evening. But it is Cherry 2-Pie from Pitmat and Deagle Killer, but you can see on the top left there how the gap between Deagle and Cherry 2-Pie is coming down quite dramatically. So Cherry 2-Pie will be trying to stretch these tyres out for as long as possible. Around about lap 18 is when these guys are going to be pitting, so maybe the overcut isn't the best strategy around here because the pace difference can be so sizable at times. The first car they'll be coming onto though will be Pitmat, who is just under 12 seconds up the road from them two at the moment. But he's no easy slouch. He's not the slowest driver, but nonetheless, you know, it's not going to be a most difficult battle for them considering the life difference on the medium compound tyres at the moment. Dom is all over the rear end of Expert at the moment. He's going to be trying to get past him and move up into 8th position. We could be once again seeing another masterclass from Deagle Killer, who has been pretty dominant throughout this season. There's been blips in his pace, but he is really coming into his own at the moment. Here comes Freak though. Can he get a good enough run through Maggots and Beckett's on Expert? I think he might just be seeing the rear end of this car for a very short period of time. I think we could be seeing this Force India getting past this Renault nice and early as they head down into the hangar straight now. Going to be heading up into Stowe. DRS available with Slipstream. Can the Force India get the manoeuvre done? Up the inside he goes, and he's got the manoeuvre done. As easy as pie. That's a great little move there from Dom, and he's got past him. Deagle Killer sets the fastest lap. That's quickly scampered by Tim Palm, and then even quickly scampered by Epic Gamer, who is maybe finding a bit of pace on these medium compound tyres at the moment. They'll be striking fear into Pitmat nonetheless. He'll be feeling like he's going to be under some pressure very, very shortly, but you can see Epic Gamer is seeing that rear end of Tim Palm and Deagle Killer, the two Red Bulls, getting closer and closer to his peripheral vision at the moment, and he's going to be getting up nice and tight very shortly, the pole man. He knows he's got some pace, we know he does, and we're all hoping really, aren't we, that he can get nice and tight. So too though is the H-Eagle. We've had a very good race so far. He's got himself up into a provisional 4th place. He's always the unsung hero, you could say, as one of the Red Bulls there. Tim Palm going very, very wide, getting onto the gravel there, picking up a lot of dirt onto them tyres. That could really hinder him a little bit for grip coming into Cop, so maybe he has to lift off a little bit, which could open the opportunity up just slightly for Epic Gamer. You can see the two ahead of them though. Tim Palm is very, very close to Deagle Killer. This is the closest, in fact, he's been for quite a while coming through Maggots and Beckett's. If he gets a good enough exit out of this corner, this could be an overtaking opportunity here for the Red Bull. He's going to have DRS and Slipstream, but I think it's just a little bit too far back though. Let's see what he's able to do. We'll keep riding on board. You can see that gap is getting closer and closer as they head into the braking zone of Stowe, unable to get that place done. And Deagle Killer is holding on to it very tightly at the moment, but he has got some challenges behind him. But of his teammate Tim Palm and Epic Gamer very shortly will be joining this rodeo to try and ride the bucking bronco that is the Red Bull battle at the moment. And Tim Palm is really keeping his teammate very keen at the moment. We'll see how many places everyone has gained quickly. Tim Palm has actually gained 5 places, but will be even 2 more once Pitmat and Cherry 2-Pie come into the pit. So a real good start and a real good race from him. Gaining 7 places and being involved in a race lead battle is a fantastic achievement, especially considering where he started. He's doing a real good job. Of course, we know everyone apart from the top 2 have pitted so far. The gap is getting closer and closer from Pitmat. Not too dramatically, but still closer and closer nonetheless. Marquise has got past Ollie D. These two are battling. It's not very often you see Ollie D battling at the back of the field, and it's not very often you see him battling for a second week running. Ollie D maybe not hitting the greatest bit of form, a little bit of misfortune here at VRC, but nonetheless he's keeping this good little battle going between himself and Marquise in the Williams. Pushed off wide a little bit, but then they're going to go side by side. The longer route for the Williams. Mercedes gets past him, and that's Ollie D up into P11, but this battle could go on for a little bit longer as they head into Copse Corner now. Let's see who's going to come out on top. Side by side they go. The Williams is going to go up the inside, surely not. He backs out of it, and Ollie D for now can hold on to that position nice and tight as he's moved himself up into P11, but Marquise is coming at him thick and fast. Blizzard is up into P10. He's got on a bit of a recovery streak at the moment, doing a good job as things stand. As Expert is keeping Dom Keen a little bit ahead of him. Dom isn't gaining too much from Dan Daniels expected, so maybe the pace around here isn't suited to some of these guys at the moment. The likes of Epic Gamer, you'd have been thinking with the pace we've seen from him, maybe he'd be showing a little bit more life and a bit more pace in these tyres at the moment, but he's really not gaining onto the back of this lot. It's a four-way scrap for the lead here, potentially, if Epic Gamer can get within a second, because the H-Eagle behind is very much in this. He's a bit of an unsung hero, as mentioned earlier. He's always involved in the battles, and hopefully for our sake he can get involved into this one. The real drivers to watch though are going to be Cherry 2 and Pitmat, who are going to be pitting for the soft compound tyres, and if they show a significant amount of pace later on, we could be seeing them two getting involved in a battle that could potentially get them a podium. Of course, we saw last week how Pitmat picked up what I think many people would agree was a bit of a shock podium. No one expected it. Came out of nowhere really. Pitmat just putting his car perfectly, not a single penalty around Austria, and he got himself up into P2 after all the penalties were dished out from the guys. So a real good showing from him, and that's his highest ever VRC position. He's done a real good job there to get onto that place, but at the moment he's in that place at the moment, but I can't imagine he's going to be holding on to it once he comes into the pits. Ollie D picking up a 3-second time penalty, lap 16 of 26. We've got a few laps to go here today. We've got some good battles, and still two guys are yet to come into the pits. Epic Gamer is trying to hunt down Tim Palm, who's hunting down his teammate as we speak. He's continuing this good little scrap. It looks like Deagle Killer is putting a little bit more life out of these tyres, and look how close that Tim Palm is getting onto his teammate, and Deagle Killer is starting to look like he's struggling a little bit from his teammate behind. You can see as they're heading down the this lovely straight going into Brooklands and Lovefield. Let's see how close they are. It's just under 0.4 of a second. This is closer than it's been between the two of them, but you can see he's not gaining too much time down that straight. Tim Palm, it's through the corners he seems to have a bit more of an advantage at the moment, but hopefully for his sake he can get a really good run out of Copse into Maggots and Beckett's. Beat coming into maybe down into the hangar straight. We're hoping that he can get closer. 0.4 of a second. It looks to be the closest it's been. Let's see how he takes Maggots and Beckett's. Tim Palm will ride on board with him, in fact. Let's see how he does through Maggots and Beckett's. He's doing it nicely, and it is very close. He's got a good exit there, but Deagle Killer's got a better one at the moment. DRS available to him, and you can see it's just a little bit too far for him at the moment to be gaining onto the rear end of his teammate, but he's really keeping him nice and keen as Cherry 2 has pulled the trigger. He's coming to the pits. He can take them soft compound tyres apparently for 10 laps. Pitmat has taken the plunge as well. Obviously some communication between the two of them, and they go into the pit, which gives the net lead back to Deagle Killer and Tim Palm, who lead this Grand Prix 1 and 2 for Red Bull. But Epic Gamer maybe now seeing them guys are coming to the pits will pull the trigger and start to up his pace. Maybe he's been saving that ERS. Let's have a look. No, he hasn't. He's been pushing that ERS to its absolute limits at the moment. Tim Palm is close to Deagle Killer, but as we know, it's not close enough at the moment. He's always tight through this section of corners. He needs to be closer than ever if he wants to get that manoeuvre done. It's going to be a tough one, of course, for the Red Bull to get past his teammate, who is the championship leader, of course. Remember that. You know, you don't want to forget the championship leader situation at the moment, but they're keeping it nice and close and nice and keen at the moment, as the current race leader, Deagle Killer, going very, very wide through Lovefield at the moment. Not doing the ideal opportunity, not taking the ideal line, but needs to keep things nice and tidy nice and clean, and maybe, just maybe, we could be seeing Deal Killer winning another Grand Prix, a back-to-back Grand Prix victory for the first time this season. It'll be almost a pure domination from him early on in the season. He's really putting down his claim, and 2018 of VRC will definitely, even if he loses this Grand Prix, will definitely belong to the Deal Killer of the Netherlands at the moment. He's doing a very solid job as they're heading down the hanger straight. Let's see what Tim Palm can do. It seems to be a bit of a recurring theme. We'll get on board with Cherry Tupai, who is very close to Blizzard. He's on them soft compound tyres at the moment. We'll wait for that camera angle to change, but Blizzard is really struggling as things stand. Let's have a look at the tyres. They're all on 6-lap old tyres for Blizzard, and they're mediums as well. Cherry Tupai could be making light work here of Blizzard, his fellow compatriot here in the United Kingdom. Cherry Tupai has clipped the Williams there as he's gone past him. Not ideal driving from him there. He needs to try and make this a bit cleaner. He needs to be very patient, because if he picks up some front wing damage, he'll be absolutely gutted. All that hard work for 16 laps of this Grand Prix could just be thrown away in an instant if he doesn't play it carefully. Blizzard is going to defend, but I think he knows that it could be his time to give this plate up and move down a place to P9. As Cherry Tupai moves to the right hand side of the screen, left hand side of the screen, we're on the outside of Blizzard. Blizzard isn't going to give him an inch. He's going to try and hang it around the outside. Maybe a quick switchback here, but Cherry Tupai, with more grip, is able to defend against the Williams there. And Blizzard has to give up the place there. Cherry Tupai has got one victim. Next up for him is Expert, but he's not being given up too easily. Blizzard's coming back at him, and this is the quality that Blizzard possess. Cherry Tupai around the outside will turn to the inside. Can Blizzard push him off the track slightly? Keep it nice and tight, and beautifully done there from Cherry Tupai to hold the line and hold the place. He keeps himself up into P8, but Blizzard is coming right back at him at the moment. He's keeping it nice and keen. This is what happens when you have a straight line setup car. Expert has retired from this Grand Prix. He's crashed it down at the Cops corner. We'll see it on board with Pit Matt. See him on the left hand side there. That's what's happened. He's gone off at Cops. Cherry Tupai doesn't have to get past him. His next target now is 7 seconds up the road, and it's Dan Daniel. This could be a very interesting battle. If he gets to Dan Daniel, then he's very, very close to Dom as well. So Cherry Tupai and Pit Matt as well will be feeling they've got some pace in this car, and they'll be feeling they can maybe push on a little bit. Grey skies above, a little bit potential, maybe some rain. We're not hearing any rain in the air, but you know, where we will have a bit of a surprise, don't we? That'll be a bit of a spanner in the works. Nonetheless, that'll be a chaotic end to this Grand Prix if we see rain. Tim Palm, look how close he is, under 3/10 of a second there, but he cannot get close enough to the Eagle Killer. But Epic Gamer is getting closer and closer. He's 1 second behind now. If he can just maybe chip away, save some ERS and get onto the rear end, we could be seeing Tim Palm, Deal Killer and Epic Gamer all battling at the same time. Tim Palm has the most ERS at the moment as well, so if he can do a whole lap in ERS, maybe he could just be having one final push. Lap 19 of 26. We're coming into the final stretch of this Grand Prix. The final third is well and truly underway. And Mark has left the session. He's done valiantly in qualifying. He made 4 laps of this Grand Prix, and sadly for him, he had to retire out of this Grand Prix and crashed out. It was a big shame. He had a really good qualifying once again. Big potential from Mark, and we'll hopefully see him very, very soon. Blizzard is not giving up that place. He's gone off at Cops there. Was there contact? I'm not too sure. We rode on board there with Blizzard, as Cherry Tupai has given the place back, so obviously there was contact as Cherry Tupai has lifted off and let Blizzard go by him there. So some good sportsmanship between the two of them, and Cherry Tupai has allowed Blizzard to go back past him, but he's not going to let him have it too nicely down into the hanger straight. Blizzard takes the inside line. Cherry Tupai is going to have to go the long way around if he wants to go at all. Contact between the two of them. Cherry Tupai is not having it his own way. Look at the gap building between Blizzard and Dan Daniel at the moment. Cherry Tupai knows that every single lap that he's battling here with Blizzard is actually costing him a chance of catching onto the rear end of Dan Daniel, and Blizzard knows that he can get this place because he knows he has some raw pace. Look at the pace he's showing on mediums compared to a soft running Toro Rosso at the moment. Flying into the turn 1 of Abbey. Blizzard picks up a time penalty, but I don't think that's going to matter too much because Cherry Tupai has them as well. Heading down into the arena section, Cherry Tupai there picks up himself a time penalty for a very silly mistake, turning in too early and cutting some of that corner. Blizzard holds onto the place, but I think Cherry Tupai could be coming at him thick and fast, but these tyres could be falling off quite quickly, so Cherry Tupai needs to get the place done and then to begin saving these tyres, because every single lap he's stuck behind him here is actually costing him valuable time, as Pit Matt will be also gaining onto the rear end. Here goes Blizzard, who's lost the rear end. Cherry Tupai is going to take the opportunity. He slivers up the inside like a serpentine. Let's see what he can do though. He's held the place, but Blizzard is coming at him thick and fast. He's got the momentum. Side by side, potentially into Cop's corner. They go side by side. Blizzard backs out of it, and Cherry Tupai gets the place done like ladder. He's slipped up the inside and he's held the place there, and he's constricted his opponent and got that done. Maybe he can cut off the circulation of the DRS and get that place secure. Hopefully for his sake he can do, but I think we could be seeing Blizzard coming back at him very, very quickly as he Cherry 2 defends nice and early. Blizzard showing some serious pace down his back straight. Can he go for a late lunge up the inside? No, he cannot. But if he keeps that DRS, Blizzard, it's always going to be a threat, but I think we could be seeing Cherry 2 pulling away very, very shortly. Further up the field, Dan Daniel has been unable to catch onto the rear end of Freak. He's been doing a good job though. Nonetheless, he's been keeping him keen. Freak has not really shown too much pace at the moment. So yeah, for his sake, he'll be very disappointed. Tim Palm is still unable to catch onto the rear end of the Eagle Killer, who's had a defensive masterclass at the moment in keeping your teammate behind you. It's keeping your teammate 101, the Eagle Killer's new book. If you want to do order it, go to the VRC's official website and you'll find it under store. It's a great read. He teaches us all of his skills in managing the ERS and you know, taking the perfect line and keeping your teammate, you know, just a little bit of hope. You're giving him some hope, but you know, just taking it away at the very last minute. And this is what it feels like for Tim Palm. He'll be gutted if he can't get past his teammate because he's been stuck behind him for so long and involved in a battle, but he's never really looked like overtaking him. Eagle Killer is defensively brilliant. Look at that line he takes through Maggotts and Beckett. Gets a better exit out the corner, which means Tim Palm cannot get the exit he wants, but he's looking closer and closer, but he just cannot get it done. Further behind, Epic Gamer will be very annoyed that he can't get some pace out of this car. All these guys are so evenly matched at the moment. It's just a little bit annoying we're not seeing these guys battling out on track. The best battle is between Cherry 2 and Blizzard, as every single lap Cherry 2 is having to defend against Blizzard, even though he's on the much quicker tyres. It's bringing Pitmat into the equation, and also Ollie D is starting as well. Him and Marquise are battling for them final points paying position at the moment. One singular point is on the line, and them guys are going to battle tooth and nail for the point. Let's have a quick look at penalties, as I just noticed Tim Palm has one. Eagle Killer has. He has 2 warnings, and Tim Palm, I think that's his first penalty of this Grand Prix. It is, so he picks up a penalty. Epic Gamer doesn't have a penalty, as going wide there is Blizzard, and he's not going to be able to catch on the Cherry 2 who now sits the fast lap of the Grand Prix. He's got that 1 second gap. It's 8.7 seconds between him and Dan Daniel. Can he have enough pace, and can he pick it up this late stage? Can he gain 8.8 seconds in 5 complete laps? It's going to be a tight one, but we'll keep an eye on Cherry 2's progress throughout this Grand Prix. Sector flags yellow 1. Ollie D is at this Grand Prix, as I think there was contact between him and Marquise. You see it down into coming into the arena section out of farm. Down at the turn 3 there, so I'm not too sure what happened, but Marquise was very, very slow, and I think we could be seeing a few complaints there, but not ideal from Ollie D, the man who has been a main championship contender to the Eagle Killer for so long. It dropped down to P3 in the championship, and it could be further down now, so not ideal from him. He'll be hoping for his sake that he can buck his ideas up and get some pace back into his car heading into 2019. We wish him the very best of luck. Congratulations to him on everything he achieved in 2018, all the Veloce events as well. For Ollie D though, his VRC career in 2018 has come to a close, and he'll be looking forward to 2019 with bated breath. Cherry 2 is not gaining though onto the rear end of the Eagle Killer. He's just going to try and hold himself out and manage his tyres to P7 at the moment. Yellow flags in sector 3. Who has gone off? Is that Pitmat? I think it is. Yes, it is Pitmat. Pitmat's made a mistake through Maggotts and Beckett, and that's allowed Marquise to get past him up into P8. So Cherry 2 has experienced 1 Williams this afternoon to try and get past, and now Pitmat has to try and get past Marquise if he wants to get. Oh no, it was it? No, it was Marquise who's dropped places. I think he's dropped time because Pitmat was already in P10. I think. I'm not too sure. One of them's made a mistake, and Pitmat is very close to the rear end of Marquise to see what he's able to do. A pad runner who's recently bought a wheel. We always love a pad runner who gives it 110% and shows some good pace. He's recently bought a wheel. He's got that final point place. Marquise was Pitmat who made a mistake because Marquise was battling Ollie D. So Pitmat is going to try and hunt down the Williams of Marquise at the moment. Let's see what he can do heading into Brooklands. He's just a little bit too far back, but he's getting closer and closer. Speaking of closer and closer, look at the gap of Tim Palm. He's very much on the rear end of his teammate now. This is the closest he's been the entire session. Can he go for a move up the inside? No, he cannot. We're coming on to lap 24 of 26. Yellow flags in sector 2. We'll see if anyone drops down places. More yellow flags. Virtual safety car. Dan Daniel is out of this Grand Prix. Dan Daniel has lost it. He's out of the Grand Prix, promoting all these guys back down here. Cherry 2 Blizzard, Marquise and Pitmat will gain the place. You just saw on the right hand side of your screen there the Haas there of Dan Daniel. You'll see it on your left hand side here. He's lost the rear end. down the hangar straight, and he's facing the completely wrong way. Virtual safety car, though, could well be a blessing there for Deagle Killer, and Tim Palm will be absolutely gutted. But just mention this, if this virtual safety car comes in at the perfect time for Tim Palm, he can maybe keep a rear end, get onto the rear end of his teammate and really push things on. Hopefully we can see a battle between these two. Let's see what happens. The virtual safety car has come out at lap 24 of 26. We have 2.5 full laps to go. Sorry, 2.5 laps to go. 2 complete laps are still yet to be done. DRS is enabled. The virtual safety car is in, and we are underway once again. And Tim Palm is closer than ever to the Deagle Killer. He looked like he maybe get a run heading into Stowe, but he couldn't do so. Epic Gamer now is within 1 second of this battle as well, which is all well and good because it could really make a bit of an exciting climax here at Silverstone. The grey clouds are out, no rain predicted. We could have last minute spots which could really throw the cat amongst the pigeons. Deagle Killer has been defending valiantly against his teammate. He's on the fresher tyres. Let's see what Tim Palm can do out of the exit of Magnussen and Beckett's now. Let's see what he's got. DRS and Slipstream available to him. It's getting closer and closer, and it looks like Tim Palm might be able to get a move done. Can he get the manoeuvre done up the inside? Is he going out on the brakes? What can he do? No, he doesn't. He backs out of it, and he's got one more lap, and then he's on the final lap of the Grand Prix, and that is when the maximum pressure comes to him at the moment. As Deagle Killer is really going to be feeling the pressure at the moment, but Epic Gamer is there nonetheless to take advantage if these guys make a mistake. I'll be surprised if we see either of them make a too costly mistake, but we all know that these guys are all, all of them can, just one little lapse in concentration, and it could be Night Irene. We'll be hoping though that these guys keep it clean, and Tim Palm will be gaining onto the rear end of Deagle Killer. It's been a sight he's seen for this entire Grand Prix. It's a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment, but Tim Palm has got a 3-second time penalty. So realistically, if you think about it, even if he gets past his teammate, he will have to take that to the stewards if he wants the penalty to be removed. I'll be surprised if the stewards won't look at it if he does put it forward. It'd only be fair if he win the Grand Prix to win it outright in style. Deagle Killer will be wanting to win it on track, not in the penalty booth. And maybe that's why Tim Palm hasn't been pushing too much, because he knows he's got a penalty. He'll be hoping his teammate can up the pace. At the moment, he'll be dropping down to P3. Epic Gamer will be promoted into P2 at the moment. Deagle Killer is going very nicely through this section of the corner, lap 25 to 26 on the penultimate lap for the second to last time here in 2018. We're on the penultimate lap. Here we go. Marquis has got past Blizzard as them two are trading places. Tim Palm isn't close enough, so we're going to cut down here to Marquis and Blizzard. The two Williams are going hammer and tong. There's Pitnap behind them. He's going to get involved in this lovely little scrap between the two of them. They're going to go side by side. Surely not going into Stowe. On board with Pitman. Let's see what these guys can do. Side by side into Stowe. Blizzard gets the upper hand here, but Marquis is coming at him thick and fast. Both worn out tyres. Deagle Killer has set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so now Deagle is setting the timing screens purple, and he's absolutely flying. Epic Gamer is going to be the man of watch now. Can he get onto the rear end of Tim Palm? And Tim Palm's going to be feeling absolutely gutted that his teammate has now started to ramp the tyres up and start to get things going right at the end of this Grand Prix, when if he would have been going earlier on, maybe they'd be on for a 1-2. There might not be communication between the two of them, but nonetheless, Epic Gamer will be feeling that there's an epic opportunity to get past Tim Palm here and get up into P2, who'll have the place nonetheless, but he'll be trying to get past him on track. Blizzard and Marquis are battling still through the final corner. The Williams of Marquis has gone wide. Pitmap is going to be sitting these two and trying to get involved into the battle. A reminder, Dan Daniel will get a point from this Grand Prix because he completed the necessary percentage to get that required point here today. Great little battle for the midfield, but we're going to go on board for the battle for the lead. Tim Palm is still all over the rear end of Deagle Killer. Hopefully we'll be seeing some last lap drama, a great camera angle, the perfect camera angle here for the final time in 2018. Who's going to win this Grand Prix? Heading down the hangar straight, it's Deagle Killer who's going to have to defend against his teammate Tim Palm. A great line here from Tim Palm. Can he dive up the inside? No, he cannot. He's got some momentum though. The Hat is going to try and get involved. Tim Palm cannot get it done, but here we go. We're going to finish this year the way we started it. The Dutchman of Deagle Killer has been absolutely flawless in 2018. It is Deagle Killer who wins the British Grand Prix from Epic Gamer. Tim Palm comes home in P3. It's going to be H Eagle with 4th. We're going to go on the board though with Marquis and Blizzard and Pitmat, because these guys have been battling it out very much. They're hammer and tong for the last lap and a half, and they're keeping things nice and exciting for us here. Marquis has got a great run on his teammate. Can he get it done? He has got it done. done, but they're going to go side by side into Stowe potentially. No, a quick switchback. Who's going to get the place here? It is Marquis who's got the place done. Blizzard's going to come back at him. Surely not. He's going to have a good momentum. He's going to break later though. Last lap drama. Up the inside goes Blizzard, and Blizzard's got it done. Marquis is coming back at him, and he's forced his teammate. It's going to be across the line. Who's going to get it done? Here comes Blizzard. He gets it across the line ahead of Marquis on the last corner. Marquis has been done in by Blizzard, who gets up into P8. A great little scrap between the two of them. He does the switchback, and a great overtake from Blizzard to get past Marquis. Pit mat. Oh, actually, no, there might have been penalties there thinking about it. I'm not too sure, but we'll have to have a look, see what comes from it. But a great battle there between them lot to finish this year off in style. It is Deagle Killer finishing the year the way he started it, on the top step of the podium in VRC. A flawless drive, a great battle. It was a battle of what ifs, really. If these guys would have had some maybe bit more race-worthy tyres, you could say, but it was nonetheless a fantastic little squabble, and I'm proud to say we got to witness an exciting battle between these guys. A great showing for the VRC, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how things end here today. Time penalties come into conclusion, but that is a great finish after a great 2018. So it is Deagle Killer who wins after starting in P4. It's Epic Gamer in second, Tim Palm in third, the H Eagle in fourth, Dom/Freak is in fifth, Cherry 2 Pie is in sixth, Pitmat is in seventh. So it was Blizzard who got ahead of Marquis, but with penalties, Pitmat moves up into seventh. Blizzard is in 8th, Marquis is in 9th, Damn Daniel is in 10th. He does pick up the point because he completed the necessary percentage. It's Ollie D, Exprit, Matt Meerkat, Mark NUFC and Onyx who were all unable to pick up points after DNFing today. A great race, a great showing. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all very, very much for supporting VRC in 2018. We promise to improve throughout 2019 and hopefully have many, many more races to come. Of course, we'll be back after the new year. We all wish you a very, very prosperous and happy 2019 and a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. No matter what you're celebrating, we of course will wish you the very, very best for yourself and your loved ones. We obviously want to make sure that you'll be seeing us very, very soon nonetheless. So that's round 10. Round 11, we're just at the halfway mark of the season 2019. We have the remaining races, and we'll be starting things off at the Hockenheim Ring for Virtual Racing Championships round 2. It's on the 2nd of January, for round 11. We hope you all have enjoyed. We will be seeing you very, very shortly, hopefully, for some more action-packed Grand Prix. I've been Oliver Glazebrook, and I will see you all very, very shortly for the second half of the season. Enjoy your new year and a happy Christmas. Take care, and good night.